Hi, hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB plus 3. Those plus 3 spells are homebrew spells. We're at plus 2 at the moment. You can back and playlist to find them. And today's spell is Purify Food and Drink. First level transmutation, Ritual. Ooh. Casting time of 1 action, range of 10 feet, components verbal, somatic, duration instantaneous. All non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range is purified and rendered free of poison and disease. Now you might not think it. You might think this spell is simple. This is a slam dunk in its description and its rating. What's the definition of food? And not necessarily literally, though yes, literally. This has been brought up in comments before, and is a general, obvious question, well, not obvious question. But we think bread and fruits and vegetables and meats that are prepared and cooked. Okay, great. But not every animal eats that. Like, I don't know, the deer's technically a wolf's food? That corpse? Does it have to be prepared for it to count as food? Or does it just count as, because a fruit's not technically prepared. You just took that off a tree. Some people eat meat raw. Then you get into things like lizard folk. Is a vampire, can a vampire cure something? Can a vampire cure someone? That's really stretching it. But outside of that question, which honestly I think just boils down to either what's argued in the comments or every table in DM, that's the end of the decision. Whatever counts in that sense. Or, I mean, there's interpretations of like, oh, it's the caster's interpretation which determines things. But that, I'd also say that interpretation is down to table or DM. But outside of that little question, the reason I was covering that is because it's going to be real short. It's amazing. It's amazing. Player-wise, I mean, how often do you have to worry about the food you're eating? Not many DMs specifically think about the food quality of what you're eating, and most of the time you just buy the same rations over and over and over again, or not paying attention to that. But if you are in a game where that's taken into account, pick this up, please. Or if you're a DM, that's something fun to think about, depending on the quality of food that your players are eating or where they're eating. Eating in a dodgy bar, or food that's been left in there for months, who knows how long. Rats have gotten into it. Yeah, throw in a disease here or there. I mean, the poisoning of food is obvious. I mean, oh my god, again, the court mage situation, all the time. All the time. And not even just court mage. Any spellcaster, really, within an urban environment, a small isolated community, dwarven hold, being able to cure and make sure your food is 100% safe, no matter what got into it. Because a lot of the miracles of modern dining, a modern food quality, is not just in the farming, preparing, and industrialization of that process, but the storage of it. Yes, there's also refrigeration, which plays a big part in it, but also keeping it away from pests or certain diseases, or making sure certain things don't spoil. Like, or are infected with something. Because think about the amount of chicken battery farms that, I don't know, like a year ago had been just entirely wiped because something got sick. You could have entirely sick pastures, entirely sick chicken coops. You just have to have someone cast this on the food afterwards. That might just become a regular process, especially because it's a ritual. So, oh yeah, every night before everyone dines in the small village, the wizard or spellcaster prays over the food and it's purified. Could be incorporated into some kind of religion. Poison for the nobles especially makes sense, but the disease is such a big one. The disease is such a big one. Rats could have crawled all over the meal, could have gotten way into the wheat and grains, could have literally burrowed into the bread and then got out. You clean it up, you cast this, it's fine to eat. Perfectly healthy. That is huge. Player-wise, it's alright. World-building-wise, it's amazing. Amazing. 9 out of 10. Just because player use, it's meh. But, oh my god, everything else. If player use was also amazing, like you came up into food quality a lot, then yes, that would bump up to 10 out of 10. But your average game, you don't. So, but world building, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's the small spells here. It's the small spells that really get you.